guys, Saf here with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and I've just come off the back of a pretty long stream where we've been grinding away at this Monster Hunter path. We have been watching Fortis do his thing in the sort of campaign stages. I've predominantly been running Nightmare so far, and I've been doing it in a pretty quick time. You can see here I've been running food through. I have been using this filter. So kind of like what I want to do in this video is give you a bit of an update where I'm at, some tips and tools that you can do to improve. And I've also got some further experience charts and tools that you can use to try and optimize your leveling experience. So you can use the filter here to save you some time, because I've been doing this a lot. And I was like, this is really tiresome trying to get to the end, because these sorting things don't really work. You can sort by rank, you can sort by level, rarity, affinity. They don't really work. But what I found to be quite useful is this filter to come into here and basically just look for 1, 2, 3 like this. And it helps me quickly find the champions that I want to level. Now, I have also, against the better judgment of my spreadsheet, been leveling rank 1 champions. Now, I don't actually know what the impact of this has had, but so far my math that I've compared to what I've earned to versus what I should have had by now is still sort of breaking even. So it probably means I haven't hurt myself too much. But I did go and get some extra bonuses here so that I can actually run this with a rank 1 in Nightmare 12.6. This is Fortis. This is what I've been doing all day. And getting these rank 1 champions straight to level 10. Now, what I would definitely recommend people do, if you are absolutely committed to getting both the champion and the soul, is to look at getting the raid card in this game. You can access it from the mobile app. As you can see there, I've got to maximum level. We're doing it in around about 20 seconds. It's a pretty good time. You can access this raid card in the mobile app, and it's like a month subscription. Sometimes you can take it out for a trial. You can cancel it at any point in time if you want to. But what it's going to give you is 20% more experience and 20% more silver. And this is actually huge because it costs you around about $9. It cost me, I think, $8.99. That's how much it cost me. But the actual amount of experience you're going to gain is multiplicative. So it means that you take the base multiplied by 2, which is the XP boost, multiplied by 1.2. And that basically means you're potentially saving 7,000 energy if you're going for both the soul and the champion. For $8, that is a very, very good deal. It's probably like worth doing. You're also going to get a bunch of silver, so that's going to help you with other things in the game as well. That's what I'm hoping. I'm going to walk away with a pretty big pot of silver. But if you get that raid card, that's what allows you to run that rank 1 all the way through to level 10 in one Nightmare 12.6 campaign. Now, one of the main problems I am having in Nightmare is the drop rate for mystery shards goes away. You don't get mystery shards in Nightmare. So I've already burnt through around about 400 of these mystery shards, and I'm only at 30,000 points. So I've got a long way to go. I need to get to about 220,000 points, which means probably by 2,000 mystery shards, I'm going to have to switch and pivot to brutal. It's going to cost me more energy and it's going to cost me more time, but it will need to happen. Otherwise, I'm going to run out of champions to actually level up. I'm not going to have enough rank 1, rank 2, rank 3 champions. Even though I'm coming into the marketplace every hour, I'm buying the ranked uncommons, I'm buying those, and I'm also buying any mystery shards. I'm going through it too quickly, even though I'm kind of making level 2s as well from rank 1s. You're just going to have more champions than you can actually sustain. So I think probably brutal is going to be the way that I'm going to have to go soon. So let me just give you a bit of an update on the spreadsheet, because I know some people have been commenting on chat that it's different from the video. After I recorded the video, I went in and optimized the spreadsheet a little bit further. I added more customization to it, so it was more of a tool for people to use. And I added some more like different quirks and different calculations to basically get it a little bit more accurate for what we want to do here. So you can see right now, I've configured this to my own personal tracker. This is on my own document. The one that you're seeing online now should match this. I've added a pick a stage. So you're able to switch between whether you're running 12.3 Brutal or whether you're going to run 12.6 Nightmare. So as you can see, right now I've put in what I've contributed in terms of my individual Monster Hunter coins. And then I think I've summoned about 38 of these and 2 of these, right? So that's roughly what I should be on in terms of points. I think this makes sense. I'm on 37,674. In game, I'm currently on 37,658. So that's about right. That's roughly what I've summoned so far. So I can now see what the difference is going to be in terms of energy. If I stop running 12.6 and I go towards a 12.3, it's going to be a big uplift of about 2k energy. You can see it goes from 28,204 to about 31,842. So I've checked my numbers here, and so far I've made 6 rank 5 champions using these points that I have available. Now, obviously, if we take away these points here, I've got 35 here. So what I wanted to do is check, is my math accurate? Right, we started with 41.74. I managed to optimize this down a lot. We'll show you the optimizations in a second, but I've got it down to 33,914. This is with that raid card enabled. It's very powerful. So I've wanted to see if I've made that many rank 6 chickens, is it going to correlate with the numbers? So this is basically if we've rounded about 42. And then if we basically put the numbers back in here, which I've earned, it comes down to about 36. 36 minus 42 is around about 6. Rank 6 and rank 5 chickens. So I'm on track. I am actually, the math is correlating to what I've earned in game. So that gives me some confidence that these numbers are going to carry through in reality, even though I've adjusted slightly with rank 1s, because it's actually, near enough there or there in terms of that. So in terms of what I've got left to do so far, after day 1, I am still 186,000 points away. But if I wanted to look at what the sort of the path is for just the champion, because that's obviously step 1, just get the champion step 1. I'm in a much better position. I'm now on the amount of points I need just to get the champion, right? I've got everything to get to the champion. We're at the Chaos Ore. I now need just the champion, which is 70,000 points, which is going to be the first big hurdle we got to get over. So that's what I'm grinding now. It is difficult. It's going to be very tiring. I've been on and off today because obviously I've been doing a lot of content and stuff for you guys. So I haven't really been consistently grinding. And we do have 3 days, 8 hours for this. So there's always a chance to book out a big session, just grind constantly nonstop, go for it. But it's good to see that that it is correlating so far in terms of the rank 2 to rank 5. So let me just talk about some of the optimizations I've made. In here now, in the main training tab, you should see this on the Google Sheet online. I'll link it in the description again. I've added the option for you to see the difference between having raid card or not. Now, as I mentioned, this is what I need at the moment, 28,000. If I switch to brutal going forward, I need 31,842 energy if I'm going forward with it. Now, if I turn off this raid card, if I didn't buy the 899 raid card, that would be 38,000. This raid card is very, very good if you want to grind for both of these parts, right? I would highly recommend it. I know I don't like advocating spending, but I'm actually trying to look out for how you can optimize this. It's $8.99 for a month. So you will get the full benefits for a month. It does give you more silver, which is going to help you. It gives you 70 more extra battles as well, if that's what you want as well from it. And it just seems to be a really good option if you want to try and make this easier, because you've got to do so much training. It's going to annihilate your brain. And I think having the raid card is going to help you. So other things I've optimized here is I've done a bit of the math, and I have chosen to partially level rank 3s now. I didn't do it in my original video, but now I've looked at the numbers and we can see you can mess with this a little bit. If you make a copy, if I take that away and I look at it, you can see it's 33,206. But if I level my rank 3s to rank 10, it's about 31,842. So there's benefits in having rank 3s. However, there is not a benefit in rank 2, because if I level rank 2 to say level 8, well, that's going to take me to 35,214. So I can't see any benefit in rank 2s at all. It's actually quite a significant energy increase. So don't partially level your rank 2. Rank 3 to 10 looks okay. But there's going to be different options here depending on what stage you're running and whether you've got the raid card and various different things. One thing to note as well, I did have a little bit of an error where we had this set at 10, 20, 29, 30, 40, 50. Obviously, you can't level 1. You're already at level 1. So the number of levels you could get reduced by 1. It didn't materially change the amount of energy you needed that much. It's because it's only 1 level, right? We're talking maybe 1,000 points here or there. So, but I've updated it now so that it's actually accurate. Thanks to Madman for shouting that out and sending me a DM to let me know that error was there. With so many numbers, it's very easy to do. But you can modify these numbers if you want to see what the overall analysis is going to be of your energy. And offset it, and obviously there's the raid card enabled there. So this is now updated on the link that I gave you, and I want to show you another tool as well that I think is going to help you a lot in terms of determining how many runs you run at certain different points in time. So a few weeks back, I had a conversation with someone in Discord about a video I think that Hell Hades did on how to level champions efficiently, and it caused a bit of a debate about what the best way is, and we did a bit of math, and I basically decided to make my own chart in the end. So what I created initially was just an analysis of how much experience per energy you gain for leveling champions to certain different things at certain different stages, right? So we can see from this chart here, for example, say like we wanted to run Brutal 12-3. Let's turn off the raid card for the moment. And we wanted to see what kind of breakpoints our partially leveling rank 3 champions will get us. Well, we can see we've got rank 3 selected up here. We're going to get 8,652 experience per 12-3 run per individual champion. I'm going to get 4 points per leveling of a rank 4 champion in this hero's path. So we can see how it works out here. We can see running it once will get them to level 6, and that gives you about 9 points per energy. And then another run here is going to get you to 6.75. And you can see it slowly diminishes. So you can kind of make a judgment call here of, okay, what kind of XP point per energy are you willing to accept? Obviously, this is very efficient. But what you've got to remember is the more efficient you run, the more champions you're going to need to create. So there's also a time component here where you might actually decide to run it at like, 6 points per energy, but because you can get these extra points, which is, because we're looking at these points here, you're going to get double the amount of points, but you're only going to lose about 1/3 of your efficiency. So that's something to keep in mind. And obviously, as you can see, as you get lower and lower, it gets worse. Now, the other way you can use this tool is you can have a look how much XP will be remaining just before you finish the run, right? What you don't want to do is waste experience. You don't want to be running this where half of that run is lost. So for example, 12-3, we get 8,652. But if you can see, 21 runs is going to get us to level 29. And that leaves us with 18,989 energy. Now, obviously, that is more than a single run. But in order for you to fully max it out, you'd have to do 24 runs. However, if you stop at 21, 18,989 is basically one brew and then one rank 1 champion. So you can basically run 21 times, stop, and then just use that brew and that champion. Or you can run it to like 23 and then finish it off with rank 1 champions, right? Because if you run it 24, you're going to be wasting almost like 80% of a single run. You don't want to just be setting the RSL helper, everything to just run to max level. You want to be efficient, because whilst this might not affect one run, you've got to do hundreds of runs. So if we've got to do this times 2,000, which is, well, probably not 2,000, but say like you've got to do that times 500, which is pretty realistic for this event. Well, that's costing you 3 million experience. That's costing you basically an entire rank 5 champion with this amount of wasting. So absolutely, you should be mindful of what level do you run to. I'm going to give you a bit of a breakdown myself of what to do. You can change this and modify this to whatever you want. You can have a look at level 2s. You can have a look at rank 5s. And it will modify for whatever you want. You can make a copy of this spreadsheet so you can use it. You can enable the raid card to see what it does to your XP gains. You can pick 12-3 or 12-6 brutal, or you can pick 12-3 or 12-6 nightmare. So if anything changes with the spreadsheet, I will let you know, and I will update it, of course. But it's just another tool for you to basically assess and make sure you're running as efficiently as possible. This is going to be a long haul. This reminds me of that Foley training event we did right back at the start of Raid Shadow Legends, where we had to do like 20,000 points in a training event. It was the most brutal thing we've ever done. It's going to be like that. So we want to be running as optimal as possible. Now, both of these tools will be in my link description, the spreadsheet from yesterday's video and that new spreadsheet today. Now, what am I doing to run optimally? What am I specifically saying is a good idea for you to do? So what I suggest you would do, if you're running 12-6 Nightmare, if you want to partially level to be efficient, I would run your rank 3s once through campaign. Okay, once through 12-6. The rank 3, if you run it once through 12-6, I don't know if I have any currently available because I've just finished the entire cycle of farming. If you run your rank 3 once, you can see I've done some of them. They'll go to level 11. That's a very efficient point. You don't need to brew. You need to run to level 11. I would take your rank 4s twice. That will get you to level 16. And then I would take your rank 5s twice as a run through. And then I would put 3 brews into them. That is the most energy efficient that I can come up with so far. Now, there might be a more optimal energy efficient. Use the charts, have a little experimentation. But that's what I'm finding is working so far. It's matching my energy expectations in terms of what my points spreadsheet is showing. And that's as optimized as I can get it so far. It's basically running rank 3s through 12-6 Nightmare once, rank 4s twice, rank 5s twice with 3 brews, I should say. Now, in terms of full leveling, to get them maximized, I'm running my rank 2s here 4 times, right? I'm picking 4 of these rank 2s like this, and I'm running this 4 times. That's how many times I need to do it. That will max them out every single time. It's not really optimal to kind of like do like 1 brew or 2 brew. That doesn't seem to matter. 4 runs is about okay for that. Now, rank 3s, I'm doing a little bit more complicated. I'm running 8 times, and then I'm running 1 through 12, 3 brutal, and then I'm running 2 times rank 1. That's what I'm doing. And then for the rank 4s, I'm running them 19 times, and then I'm putting a couple of rank 1s in them to max them out. That's how I'm using it. So the reason why I'm not really digging deep into brews, and this might be a question you might be wondering by now, why aren't I investing heavier into brews? Because what I realize is the volume of champions that I'm going to need to make this happen is probably going to exceed the number of one individual brews that I can put into a champion. It's a very strong possibility. I'm going to have to make over 800 rank 2s in this one event. So I could easily exceed my brew capacity very quickly. So I'm limiting my brews at the moment to absolutely where I need to use them, so that if I need them in the later on towards the end of this event, I've got them available to me. What I don't want to do is run out of mystery shards, so I can't farm any more champions, and run out of brews, so I can't actually do the partial brewing or do any emergency brewing if I just need points right at the end of the event. Now, if you're running 12-3 brutal, this does change a little bit. Especially if you're running the raid card, you want to run your rank 3s through a brutal once, and then you can use 1 brew to take them up to the next desirable level. You want to run your rank 4s twice through 12-3 brutal, and then you can use a single brew. And then you want to run your rank 5s 9 times through 12-3, and then you can run a single brew. Those things will get you to the points that I've got in the spreadsheet that I've thought of. It's about 10 or 11. It's about level 24, 21 for rank 5s. It just depends on how it rounds with the brew. And that will give you the best sort of points per energy per brew that I can come up with so far. Now, obviously in the comments below, let me know how you've optimized your run. It's very, the way people do brewing is it's like there is a mathematical way to do it, but it's even an interpretation about how people feel about energy per experience, per brew, per everything else, right? Some people value the rank 1 champions much higher. I quite like using rank 1 champions to fill the little bit. Some people will use more brews more aggressively. So let me know in the comments below how you're getting on. But that's kind of like what I would say is a good staple right now. I'll put it in the pinned comment as well, just so that it's clear for everyone to see what strategy I am currently running. As you can see, I've run this 4 times now, and I've got some rank 2 chickens. And then I'm just upgrading them. I'm not actually partially leveling the rank 2s. I'm down to 216. Another little tip for you. If you want to make mystery shards quicker, you can click on the portal, summon, press escape. We can do it twice as fast. So we can queue up the next batch of victims for Fortis to feed into another champion. As you can see, I'm blasting through my mystery shards. I will probably run this down to 2,000, then switch over to brutal, because I actually want to try and maximize my energy as much as I can, but also my time. You know, all of this is going to come at a cost of time. If I switch to brutal, the quantity of runs that I'm going to have to do goes up considerably, right? It does go up considerably because of the change in experience. Brutal gives you about half the experience, so you have to do double the runs. So at the moment, I forecasted, if I look at my spreadsheet right now and I go back to where I was at in terms of the points that I've earned, I've got about 28,000 experience energy I need to spend. That's how many runs. If I can divide that with 16, that tells me I need to do about 1,712 6 runs, 1,700 campaign runs. If I switch that to brutal, that is going to be at a cost of 3,900 runs. So it's going to take me significantly more time, even if it doesn't take me more energy, but I'm going to have to balance my mystery shards. I could probably dip down to 1,500, but I don't want to go any lower just because I like to keep a big mystery shard pool available. So that is something to keep in mind as well as you go along. Keep in mind what resources you need as you climb. Now, you might be sitting here wondering, wow, you got so many brews. Why don't you dip into them? I might end up doing it as I get further and further into the event, as I get tired from doing training. I might dip into these brews. I don't like dipping into my chickens in case I need to do an emergency thing for content or to beat something, but that is also an option as well. I can use some of these rank 4s. But keep in mind, the majority of your points you are going to earn from doing the lesser foods. It's not about making rank 5s. It's the process of upgrading rank 2s to rank 3s. That's where a big bulk of your points are going to come. So substituting chickens is not necessarily going to make it better. You're still going to have to farm that experience somehow. You're still going to have to make those rank 3s. So those are some tools to efficiently level. I thought it's actually probably a good idea to do a bit of a specialist video on leveling efficiency, how to optimize it for a champion training event. You could apply these also to a normal training event, because the points difference between like a Hero's Path and a champion training event is very similar. They are kind of like the same point totals. So yeah, I think that you can actually keep this and use it for those things as well. I'll probably adapt the XP efficiency chart so that you can pick between a Hero's Path and a champion training tournament and a champion training event once I have all those points confirmed. So there you go, guys. A champion training update. I guess I'll see you in another 24 hours as I continue to grind this. Like, why have I done this to myself? I do wonder what kind of sanity I've chosen to myself to do this. I mean, I've managed, look how much of the dungeon divers I've managed to grind. I was down at 2,000 when I started this process. I might try and grind the rest up just to get this 500 immortal soul coins now at this point. There's another 5 hours to go. I can probably grind this from just doing dungeon divers and campaign. It's kind of insane to get that far. I don't even need the fragments. So that's how much we've done today. And we are, you know, we're climbing with silver. I will say, though, I'm not gaining as much silver as I'd hoped. And the difference between Nightmare and Brutal is not that crazy. I'm only at 18 million. I started at around about 7 million. So I've done a lot of campaign and not earned a lot of silver. I'm hoping by the end of this process, I'll be on like 40 million silver, but we'll see. Let me know in the comments below, guys, how are you getting on? I know a lot of you were seeing this event as pretty awful. I think maybe some of you thought I was like endorsing this event in the last video. I simply was stating the facts. It's cheaper than a normal summoning. I appreciate the time element. I'm currently suffering under it. And I totally get that it's probably asking a lot of the community. I'm not endorsing it. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying this is the best event we've ever had. I'm simply saying it's probably the cheapest event we've ever had for a guaranteed champion in terms of money, not in terms of time. So I'll see you in another 24 hours. I'll probably give you an update how I'm getting on. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video.